Well, folks, here we again for the weekly forecast, and during this past week, of course, we dealt with severe weather that started through the Tuesday time frame, and then the storm system finally moved through the Central Plains and to the east of us as we got into the late Thursday evening into Friday morning. So we've seen some significant moisture in parts of the state. The heaviest totals combined for all 3 days of precipitation was south of Interstate 80, particularly portions of southeastern Nebraska. Then we had a couple other primary areas from Broken Bow up toward the Sioux City area, and then along the area from just to the northeast of Grand Island up toward the Fremont area along the Platte River, where we've seen some training of thunderstorms. On Tuesday, we've seen 5 tornadoes that have been confirmed. We just waiting for a complete verification from NWS that appeared through the Storm Prediction Center's website, and 50 hail reports. Now those will probably go up as a few more additional reports go in, particularly on the hail side. But overall, that was the worst of the severe weather, and that represented our first severe weather outbreak of the year. So as we go through this next 7 days, there's a couple more opportunities for thunderstorms, particularly as we get into the early part of next week. So let's get right away to it and go to the upper air models and see what we have in store. And as you look at today, we have this ridge to our west building in. We have the trough to our east. So that's what's the remnants of the inclement weather that moved through our region during the middle part of the week. So we've had high pressure firmly in control from the southern plains to the northern plains. The low pressure associated with the trough are now over the Great Lakes region. So that's where most of the precipitation is to the north, and then of course down into the mid-Atlantic region. For tomorrow, we see that ridge building into our region, so even warmer temperatures tomorrow. High pressure firmly in control. We do see a couple low pressure systems indicated at the surface in the Great Basin region. Those shouldn't be a player in terms of precipitation. Although some scattered moisture, this is really occurring during the overnight hours as a little trough moves through, particularly in the Monday morning. That trough will start to make its way into the region, gives us low pressure at the surface in the western Dakotas, low pressure to our south. That is going to allow some moisture to stream northward, but because it's such a weak wave, we don't see a big feed of moisture, so just scattered showers presented by the models for Monday. On Tuesday, the trough strengthens a little bit as it moves to eastern Nebraska. Surface low to our south in the Texas Panhandle may have enough time to get some moisture up into this system, and we see some convection starting to show up in terms of the forecast for eastern Nebraska, but more widespread as this system starts to move toward the east of Nebraska, particularly on Wednesday. We'll see that low pressure system centered over northern Illinois. Heavy precipitation is likely over this region, perhaps another 1 to 2 inches in some locations on top of what is received from earlier this week. It's probably going to slow down planting for a while. Furthermore, on Thursday, we start to see a zonal type flow pattern breaking out. Usually represents dry conditions, even though we're showing surface lows at the surface in South Dakota and western Kansas. It's just not going to be enough moisture with this system with main energy to our north. That's where all the heaviest precipitation will be. And as we get into Friday, we remain in the zonal flow. So it actually looks like decent weather for planting as we go to the end of the week. Even with these low pressures in place, I think it's going to be well overdone in terms of the precipitation that's going to be showing with this setup, particularly over Nebraska. I think once again we'll be facing the heavier precipitation as we get to Iowa and points to the east. So as we go even farther down the road for the 8 to 14 day forecast, we're looking at a widespread above normal temperatures, and in terms of precipitation, the dry continues for the western high plains, so that should help us to get additional planting taken care of.